Hello everyone, welcome to Silicon Glyph. In the previous video, we understood what Verilog is and where it is used, and today we are going to do something practical. We will set up Vivado, create our first project, write a simple Verilog module, create a test bench, and run the simulation. By the end of this video, you will see real waveforms on your screen. So let's get started. So Verilog is a hardware description language, but writing just the code is not enough. We need a tool to compile the code, simulate the behavior, and later synthesize it into a hardware. To do this, we will use a software known as Vivado, which is developed by Xilinx, and it is an FPGA design tool. For now, we will use this Vivado only for the simulation, and for further videos, too, we are going to use the Xilinx Vivado. So now, after you install Xilinx Vivado, I have already made a video on how you can install Xilinx Vivado in your Windows PC. I will put the link in the description below, and you can watch that video and install Xilinx Vivado in your PC for Verilog coding. And after you open the Vivado, it will look something like this. And this is the icon for Vivado. You can see that here. So this is the Xilinx Vivado. And after you open it, it will look something like this. And to create a project, you can simply navigate to create project and click on it. And it will ask for this wizard. You can go through this. And now you can name the project name. I will name it as a Verilog tutorial. And then you can choose the project location here. It is a default location of mine because I've already done few projects inside this. And now you can click next. Now inside this, we are going to choose RTL project. Because we are just designing the process. So we are going to write the Verilog code and we will simulate it. So it will be an RTL project. You don't need to select any of these, and you can simply click on next. And now it will ask for source file. So in Vivado, the sources are basically divided into two categories. The first one is the design source, and the next one is the simulation source. So in the design sources, you write your main Verilog code, which is a behavioral code and modules. And then in the simulation sources, you write the test bench. So now in the add sources, I'm going to create two files, which will be, in this video, we are going to perform the NGET operation. So I'm gonna write the file name as NGET, and we have to choose the file type Verilog. There is also VHDL and system Verilog, which are other two hardware description languages. So you can simply select the Verilog language and then click on OK. So this will be our design source where we are going to write our AND gate logic. And to simulate it, we need a test bench. So I'm going to name the test bench file as ngate tb, where tb is obviously stands for test bench. And I'm going to select this as Verilog and OK and next. And this is the constraint file. Constraint files are basically used when you're dumping your code into a physical hardware. We are not going to do that. So I'm going to skip this step and click on next. And now this is where you can select the device. So there are a lot of devices here. You can also select the boards, but we are only simulating for now. We are not going to do this physically. So I'm gonna go with the default one and click on next. And now this will show you the final project summary. So I'm gonna click finish, and it will take some time to create the project based on your computer specifications. And after that, it will open a project navigator, and you can basically start writing your code. So now you can see that it asking for a module definition. So module name will be ngate. You can change it. It doesn't mean that your file name and module name should have a same name. So if my file name is ngate, but your module name can be anything. You can also write it as an ngate. You can write it your wish. It is your wish. So now I'm going to define the port names. So for an AND gate, there will be a two input AND gate. If you are going to design a two input AND gate, then the ports will be A, which is an input, and B, which is also an input, and Y, which will be an output. So you can change the input output direction here. So I'm going to put output. And then we also have the AND gate test bench, but we are going to see the test bench later. So I'm gonna leave the test bench that way. So now if I click OK, um, we are not going to change anything in the AND gate test bench. So I'm gonna click yes. And now it will create our source files and design and simulation files. Now you can see that we have two files, and then I'm gonna go to the first file, which is our main module. And these are all the other details, and this is the preprocessor directive, which we are not going to, we'll see in the future videos. So inside this, you can see this is the main module, right? So in the main module, there are inputs. So these are the ports, input A, input B, and output Y. These are the input and output ports, which we defined earlier. Or if you skip the definition there, you can basically write this way. So input, output, and input and output. So by default, these things will be considered as wire. I'm going to explain about what a wire is, what a register is in the next video, which will be really fun. And right now, all you need to know is that everything in Verilog works in modules. So think of module as a block in a huge block diagram. If you take an architecture of a processor or any other digital device, you can see few blocks. So these blocks are like modules. So in AND gate, so to perform the AND gate, we are going to use a symbol which is an ampersand. So we can simply write it as assign y is equals to A and B. So this is the syntax that Verilog follows. To define a module, you can simply write it as module, followed by your module name, followed by your ports inside a parenthesis, and you have to end every line with a semicolon, except for these things like end module if, or something like that. So, and when we are using assign y is equals to A ampersand B, this means that the A and B will perform an AND operation between A and B, and the value is assigned to the port Y. So this is the source code, and this is how you write the simple module in Verilog. Now I'm going to save this, and then I will open the NGate test bench, and you can see that it looks almost same. It just the same thing, except that there will be no ports. So I'm going to remove the parentheses because there are no ports. And now inside this, we have to define the, we are going to write the test bench now, right? So in test bench, what basically happens is you give the inputs. So we have two input ports, which is A and B. So we are going to change these inputs A and B with some delay, and we will observe how the output port Y changes according to these inputs. So to do this, we are going to write the test bench code as follows. So first we have to define the input ports as registers here, and the output port as Y. So this is how these are the input ports, and this is the output ports. I'm going to explain about register and Y data types in the next video, which we are going to see. And then now we have to write the module we are going to test, right? So we are going to test this module, which is NGate. We are going to do a unit test for this module. So we have to define it here by writing NGate UUT. This means that you are performing a unit test. So UUT stands for unit under test. And we are going to do this on NGate module. So now after we defined our unit under test module, means we are testing our NGate module. So I'm going to write NGate UUT. And now I have to map the ports, which means We have defined the A and B, which are the inputs as registers in this test bench, which we are going to map to the ports A and B in this module. So to do that, we can simply go inside our parenthesis and write dot A. Then inside that we have to write A. This means that the A in this test bench, which is a register, is mapped to the port A of AND gate module. And now I'm going to write dot B. So I'm mapping the port B, and then I'm going to map the port Y. Now we have defined the unit under test, and then we have mapped the ports. And now we have to give the actual inputs to the ports A and B. So to do this, we are going to write these values inside an initial block. So the syntax goes like this: initial, begin, end. So this is the initial block, and inside this initial block, we are going to write the inputs for A and B. So if we take the truth table of AND gate, we have two inputs. So we will get a four combinations, which are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So I'm going to write these simply here, which is A is equals to 0, B is equals to 0, and A is equals to 0, B is equals to 1, A is equals to 1, B is equals to 0, A is equals to 1, and B is equals to 1. So this is the truth table 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and we are only giving inputs here, and we will check the outputs after simulation. But something interesting will happen if we simulate this exact test bench. I will show you what happens if we do this. I will click on run simulation here, and I will also tell you why it is interesting. So I'm going to minimize this one and all these things. Now you can see this is the waveform which we are going to see, and if you click this, it will fit the whole waveform to the screen. So you can see that from the starting of 0 nanoseconds to 10 nanoseconds or 10 microseconds, the values of A, B, and Y are 1. But inside test bench, we have given 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So why it is only taking the last test case? It is because this is a Verilog code, right? So I've already told in the first video that Verilog and VHDL or any hardware description languages runs parallelly. That means every line is active at the same time. So what happens is it will try to run everything, but as it runs very quickly, you will only see the output of last case, because this is the only thing that executed at the end. It will only show you the last case, but it won't show you the previous case. So what we have to do is we have to put a small delay for each case. So for the first case, we don't need any delay. So we are going to set 0, 0 as the initial condition. And for the next conditions, we are going to apply a 10 nanosecond delay. So you can simply write it as hash 10. And then you can proceed with the input changes, which means that after giving 0 to A and 0 to B, wait for 10 nanoseconds, and then give 0 to A and B, 1 to B, and then wait 10 more nanoseconds to give 1 to A and 0 to B, and another 10 nanoseconds to give 1 to A and 1 to B. Now after this, if I save this code and if I rerun the simulation, it will take some time based, yeah, it perform the simulation, and you can see, if you are wondering, you still get 1, 1, 1. We didn't fit the waveform yet. So click on this and you can see that the waveforms changed here. So to zoom in, you can simply click on control and you can use your mouse scroll to zoom in and zoom out. Or to fit the waveform, you can click on this. And if you want to zoom the certain part of your waveform, you can simply go here in the waveform. And if you want to maximize from 0 nanoseconds to this part of the waveform, you can simply click on this, or you can simply click on any part here. So I will click on here, and if we can simply drag your cursor, and you can see that there is a red area that appeared. So if you release your left mouse, this red part will be zoomed in, and you can see, right? Now, you can see that we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. These two are the input ports, and this is the output port. So we have mapped all these three things, and you can see that A is changing from 0 and 1, and B is also changing from 0 to 1. This is because we applied a delay of 10 nanoseconds. And you can also see that the values are changing exactly at 10 nanoseconds because we have given the test bench that way. So for A, put 0 for 10 nanoseconds, and B is 0. So this is the 0, 0 case. It will stay up to 10 nanoseconds, and after 10 nanoseconds, it will be 0, 1, and after 10 nanoseconds, 1, 0, and after 10 nanoseconds, 1, 1. And you can also check the AND gate operation here. For 0, 0, the output will be 0. For 0, 1, output will be 0. 1, 0, output will be 0. And for 1, 1, output will be 1. So you can see that the AND gate is performed using the design source, which is simple and the test bench. So this is how you write your Verilog module and how you write the test benches for your modules, and also how you can simulate them, simulate your module and test bench and see the waveforms. So in this video, what you have learned is you have learned how you can write a simple module and how you can write the test bench for your module and how you can simulate the module. In the next video, we are going to see the data types like wire and register, and then we are also going to see how you can create your RTL schematic. And if possible, if we are going to write few more modules, we are going to see how you can manipulate your waveforms further. So this is it for this video, and thanks for watching, and peace out.